student. He was a royal student. Yeshua ben-Hur was a carpenter, and carpenters were builders. Builders back then were not, in the dirt people, and that's another thing, that really bothers me, that in the Bible he's this lowly peasant when he's not. He went to the school of Alexandria. You don't just go to the school of Alexandria being a nobody. The man was a royal. And he was a brilliant man, and that was the whole lesson, is to teach us what to be. And I love that story, and it irks me that it seems to be twisted to play this game with our mind, But and again, that's what I think really happened, is you have these old cultures like Shaitan or Satan, because that's another thing, is to deny it exists is what it wants. So if we give it a name. And this is my theory, if we give it a name and call it Satan, if we give it a name and call it devil, we're denying what it really is. And what it really is it's us. And you said it. We've got the two lineages inside of us competing and fighting, and it's really one lineage that's trying to become one, because that's the whole transmutation, not transhumanism, but transmutation that is supposed to really take effect in our reality. And that's what I've been shown.
Yeah. That's, and, if people would just wake up, and realize and quit, fighting each other, you're right. Because the truth of the matter is, when you got two little kids in the sandbox at the end, in the beginning, one can be black, one can be white. It doesn't. They play together. It's only until it grows up and we teach it how to be racist.
Yeah.
Is when they start fighting. Basically.
Well, I'm one of those advocates that says, well, everybody's racist. I'm racist, because the sooner we accept that all of us adults, all these people over the age of 13, 15 are already racist. We discriminate. Like it's been proven in studies that no matter whether you're in the Middle East, or you're in South America, or you're in Africa, or America, the darker the skin, the more we are afraid.
I agree with that. I've seen that.
And that's where I go back to the idea that this Satan, the devil, those names really aren't the evil thing. The evil thing is something that's so much more hidden and blurred between all these, like darkness. Is darkness really evil? Or is evil evil?
You got a great point. I know what you're saying. Sometimes I have to really explain myself in a video of, because of the way the videos portray them, music videos or whatever. They always portray sometimes a black man being the evil, and and it's not. It has nothing to do with a black man being evil, but I'll be honest with you, the most evil people I've ever met are white people, to me. But that's just me.
Oh, man.
But you're right. Evil should be just evil. Evil doesn't have a color.
No, it doesn't. And that goes back to when we were talking about the lack of culture that we have. We came from this mixed melting pot, where we had all these different cultures starting to be free, and then all of a sudden we have technology swooping in. And this is something you got to think about, folks. If the government is ahead of us in technology, then that means it's kind of ironic that we were getting to like this melting pot unison kind of feeling, and then all of a sudden our cell phones became amazing within such a fraction of a time. And this is what blows me away. Oh, we hit a peak in development. It's like, hold on. How did we go from making frickin' planes to having all this shit in a little, more than 100 years?
I think we've had better technology in the past.
Well, and that's what
you know what I mean? Like, who built the pyramids?
Exactly.
Technology, I think.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, is where's the control? And that's where you're going back to this transhumanism. Where is this control of technology really coming from? Because if you know what a Baghdad battery is, if you know what the copper freaking I don't know what they're called, but they're piping that run for miles in China and different areas where they're finding all these metal pipings that are just like solid freaking rods that are just miles of it. And what it is it's their condensing units for electricity current or electrical current.
Right. And and this is just my findings. You're speaking of technology. See, I have found that the technology or the information, as above, so below. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
oh yeah, brother.
It came. That's what happened from the fall was stuff, and it happened in the garden. I know you made this allegory, but they shared something with us that we're not supposed to know in this realm, in this reality. And that's when it had to be corrected. That's why you see Freemasons, and every Freemasonic lodge has a black and white checkerboard floor. A floor is a foundation. And what they're trying to do, see, the Freemasons, a Mason is a builder of a actual physical building. But the inner sanctum secrets within the Freemason is Acts 4:11. They are the builders who rejected the true cornerstone, which is Christ, Jesus, whatever you want to say, Yeshua. See, that's what the elites are doing. They are building another temple, another Tower of Babel, DNA, whatever you want to say, another tower, another way to heaven, to ascend, whatever you want to say. They're trying to do it their way, not the way Christ showed you. That's why they are the builders who rejected the true cornerstone. That's why when you see Christina Aguilera, Beyonce, Katy Perry on the Super Bowl, she's dancing on a checkerboard floor, and on a checkerboard, it's an 8x8. A checkerboard is 8x8. There are 88 constellations up above you. As above, so below. The Freemasons, Illuminati, the elite are using the knowledge from the fallen ones above to build a third temple here, a satanic temple, transhuman, Mark of the Beast temple below.
So I got a little theory, and I understand everything you're saying, and I do agree to a point. Yeah, I really do agree, because that's an amazing thing you said about the checker payment, because I didn't even know that one. But the concept of the symbolic meanings wrought throughout these cultures of Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, even Hermeticism and alchemy, there is this constant debate between the brothers and sisters of these orders of whether or not it's meant for this or meant for that. And I think that's a very interesting concept, because if you look at the city of Enoch and when the whole freaking flood happened, and some of the city of Enoch rose to the Enlightenment, and that's in the story, and that's where Enoch, he was the highest, favored by God, and the city was called Enoch. So it was kind of an interesting play on words. Oops, sorry about that. An interesting play on words in that itself. So from that perspective, I've come from the study that it's up to us to decipher the symbols. And going back to the idea that this name Satan, this name devil, really isn't the enemy. The enemy is you. The enemy is me. The enemy is I. This declaration, and that's one of the biggest things that I've had a problem with studying these studies, is the I am is such a thing that's repeated. Eheye. I think it's eheye ani heheye. It's I am that I am. And
well, look.
Well, hold on real quick. So the I am, though, it's something.
iPad, iLens.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is I see this. I see that there's these symbolisms to show you that it's like, hey, it is the I am, and it's up to you to beat it. It doesn't matter what the Illuminati do with their constellation checkerboard with a bunch of old men doing fish fries, because I'll tell you, it's a very interesting culture with him. So
I hear what you're saying. I used to believe that, but if knowledge is power, and they know how to use magic, and they do it in rituals, and they did 9/11 on a specific day, and they pulled it off, and there's another event coming to bring in.
So do you think it's possible that there's other, so to say, magicians out there who are focusing on the energy of the earth and the energy of the all, and trying to fight against them? Because
say that again.
Have you heard of the organizations and the groups who are fighting against them with magical practices and the same kind of concepts?
They're fighting against who? Who are you saying they're fighting against?
The people we're talking about. The people who are trying to use these magical things in order to create this idea of God in the physical form. And I mean because that's what transhumanism is. It's we would ultimately advance our brains to be godlike, which is ridiculous because they're already in the image of God. So if you can't figure that out, then go fly a kite. But there's these people out there who study these same things that I study, and they go to the pyramids and they meditate. They've been stopped. Like there's been complete like battle and some crazy shit that's happened where these people go to places and they're like locked out by government and military because the people are going there with this love and peace and this positivity of truth and just trying to push that energy in these places that other people are trying to go to and do these kind of ceremonies. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you because there's a lot of people who are fighting back now, and it's not just from the Christian-based aspect. And there's even a lot of mystical Christians who study a lot of the old Zohar and the Torah aspect that Christ himself studied, and really take everything he says and then everything he studied and then compile it, and that's a whole nother magical practice in itself with sigils and.
That's fine, I guess. I don't know. If I've heard that, they're doing that in certain people, but, whether it's working or not, I don't know. I can't judge, but I do know that when I say the elites, they do certain things on certain days, and they do it for a reason. And there's only two things. This is just me. There's either the miracle of God or the miracle of the creators, or there's magic, which have learned how to manipulate things, to copy. And that's why it's called artificial intelligence. That's why everything that's coming is artificial. It's not real. There's artificial light. There's artificial intelligence. There's,
well,
all I know is.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with the artificial aspect.
Knows, here's the way I look at it. I just look at what the enemy is doing now. What is the things that are destroying this world and on a hidden plane as well.
Well, I guess that's where I'm trying to. I guess my biggest thing, because I just did an episode on magic. If you want to listen to that was only like 10 minutes. I usually do about 10, 20-minute episodes because, like you were talking about, trying to reach to the younger generations, even the older generations now, it's like nobody's got freaking time.
Right. So when Katy Perry comes out at Super Bowl halftime, Katy Perry comes out on The Woman Who Rides the Beast, which is a metal beast, iron. She's on a checkerboard floor. They're telling you a story with a halftime story. And then when she ascends, because that's what Satan wants, he wants to ascend to the stars to be like God. She gets on her little platform and ascends into the sky. So all I'm saying is this: they're not making fun of Buddha. They're not making fun of the all, the New Age, any other Muslim. They're not. They are slapping us in the face.
I think with that statement though, with that one statement that you just said, I think that it could be rephrased just a little differently. They're not slapping you in the face. They're slapping Christianity as the felicity that it is. You are a real follower of Christ, my brother. And that's why I wanted you on, is because I could see you had a message, and you did, man. I mean, the fact that we were able to have this conversation, it's been an hour. We're going to have to wrap it up here.